So we don't have a code of conduct yet, but there is one that is ongoing, I presume, somewhere. In general, you can follow the guideline, be nice with each other. I think that would be enough for us to have an effective meeting. And I see new faces here. So if you want to, say hello and tell us a bit about yourself, you can do it. Otherwise, we will go straight to the meeting.
Hey everyone, my name is Jacob. I just started getting involved with Tinkerbell, PB&J in specific. Really excited to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I'm the first one in the with a topic in the agenda. So feel free to add more if you have more. Otherwise, it will be a short one. I started to, one of the issue we have open in the Sandbox project, that is the project that we use to tell the community about how to spin up like Tinkerbell in a short way, in a comfortable way, let's say, has an issue about centralizing all the configuration in one place, because now we have configuration that are in the env for OSI and others that are in the Docker Compose file, for example. So the Tink server, the Tink CLI, and Hegel and all the other stuff are in Docker Compose. OSI is in the env. So I had a quick look about how we can place all of them in the same place, and also how we can build a workflow that is like easier in terms of like bumping new releases or use the version that you want. So there is an issue with my consideration and a pull request that does the centralization. The main point I think that is all holding there is that Docker Compose has a feature called --m-file that loads a .env file. So we already have one that is the env one. By default, Docker Compose use the .mv that usually is like the standard way to look at those stuff. So we can even do like one of those. We can change the gen env scripts to generate a .env and not env anymore. So Docker Compose app will automatically look for the environment variable in there. In this way, we will have only one, because it will be the merge of the env that is used by the setup sh and the Docker Compose. Or we can change the guide, the setup guide, to use Docker Compose with a new flag, and we will use the env file that we have today. So that's mainly it. The feature is there, it works. I just want to know more about what you're feeling about that. But if there is no strong preference, Dan pointed out that he likes the .env migration because it's more like in line with other tools. So I think I will go with that if nobody shows up in a couple of days. And yeah, that's it for my side. Who is next? Gaurav, are you? Yeah, you're the next one with the event-driven Tinkerbell.
We have a comment. Okay, no, let's check once again. I'm not sure how audible or how good the quality of the audio is today.
Not that good, but we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. So Luca, if you could open the proposal that people can look into, that would be great. So I wanted to highlight just the work that is going on around the proposal 10012, that is event-driven Tinkerbell, and the plan is to, in the current model, everything inside Tinkerbell is mostly request and response based. So there is a lot of dependency on the Think server, and it's taking a lot of responsibilities, like it is managing the state of the workflow, it is responding to all the requests. So what we want to do is come up with a solution that is like it be more driven by the events. For example, when you create a template, it's one of the events. When you create a workflow, it's another event. When your workflow kicks in and is in progress, it's another kind of event, and if it fails, those are different events. So if you can see on the screen, there are different types. This is a very small list that we have defined. Going forward, there as a solution evolves, we definitely may come up with some other events, and we refine the whole solution. As a starting point, what we want to do is we have a basic functionality that is known as phone home. We're looking for a better documentation around phone home so that we can put it in the proposal and take it from there. The whole idea around this proposal is to have a base using which most of the communication that happens between the Tinkerbell components will be event driven. So the Tink server is going to be like, okay, I just received a workflow create request, um, and is there someone who is listening for this? Just do whatever you want to do. And if there is, let's say, if you create a hardware, there will be like, okay, I have this hardware. Is there anyone interested to do something on this particular event? Do what you want to do. That's the kind of approach that we are taking. So the proposal is open. It's in kind of a very initial state. If you have any inputs, please feel free to go through the proposal and drop your comments. If there is anything, Gianluca, you'd like to add. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't able to unmute myself. No, I think it's as Gaurav said, it's in early stage, but there is also a huge pressure from like event packet, but also from the ecosystem, I presume, about this feature, because it's a good way to create, like to demand, like to the outside world, the implementation of their business logic, so we can keep the core of Tinkerbell like reasonably small. So it's not something that we can hold for too long. So I think at least the proposal has to get into a acceptable state, like in a short amount of time.
Yeah. And if you're going through the proposal, I would highly encourage you to look into the implementation section, where I'm trying to leverage the notifications from Postgres to have our event base. So you can take a look at how you would we are going to configure those triggers or notifications and the kind of events you'll be receiving, and how you implement a listener that is also there on the go.
So let's see, we do not have new topics. So I think this week there is somebody that has anything to say, or like.
I think maybe we can just open for Q&A.
Yeah, I mean, questions or curiosity or whatever. Otherwise, we can call it done.
How about the code of conduct PR? That one should be pretty straightforward, but it doesn't match the prettier test is failing because the markdown isn't formatted properly.
Yeah, I think that has to go. Like we should be able to merge in at some point. So yeah, I think we have a big discussion about like markdown every sentence in a single line, and the other way around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the core of the topic. The content is great, so it's the small details that are missing. Yeah, I will have a look at that and try to push it forward.
Where is that file that you're talking about?
I think is in the GitHub repository. Marcus, I don't remember. No, it's not there.
I'm linking it. It's in the chat now. It's a pull request that's open. It's failing its test for that one reason.
Okay, I have a local prettier install. I'll run it through and do a pull request.
That's great. I think
so it should pass.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think that probably the best place is also to open up a request on the .github repository, because we have all the meta stuff in there as well. So it would be a good one to open as well if you have time.
Okay.
We have a new joining DC guys. I don't know your names are. Uh, any quick intros or any other questions? Most welcome.
Do we want to look at triage party at all?
Oh yes. Why not?
So let me share triage party. Wow, those are so old that I can recognize them from the title. So I can see the value of it already. This one is actually something I have in my mind, because I can show you what I have done here. Right? Oh, those are nooks. Oh, I can't hear anymore, so I think I broke Zoom.
You can hear.
Oh, okay, you are just so quiet. Anyway, that one is almost ongoing. Configure top level directories.
Is it something in line with what Jason was doing?
Sure, user to tail over. Okay, I think supporting prefix or something else. Yeah, this looks well scoped. At least we have to document, and I think it's some way. It comes back to what CB was saying before. I think you did that. You wrote where the files are located, Gaurav, already.
Yeah, it's like I think I need to jump on.
I think that should be probably done, or like at least there is documentation for that. Yeah, how to deploy a Windows server.
Maybe we.
Yeah, go ahead,
Maybe we
Gaurav.
could request. I think maybe we could request some more context so that we have a comparison of what Manny was referring to as compared to today's state of documentation.
Yeah, I will do it later, because I have to find where is the documentation you brought and link it there. So I will keep that in my tabs. So I will get to. I don't have many of them yet, so I think I won't lose them. There is hope. The Windows server is, yeah, far away. I don't know how to treat those. I think I have no idea. What else?
That issue you just opened, that Windows server, Dan responded to that 21 days ago. Does it make sense to mark it closed?
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to have issues open. I mean, I think they are also triaged. There is a needs discussion. Nobody's discussing them, so I presume it's low priority.
Yeah.
So I think that's wrong to be in the triage party, I presume, if I have to say. There. Not a lot of people care at this stage. We can't really onboard that yet. So it will come as soon as we get more bandwidth. or experience with Windows. I don't really have it. Purecast stale. This is on me. I'm working on it. So it's stale because I'm stale. Same for the test case as well. Gaurav, you have been trying to move thin components that you can probably have a look at.
Gian,
Yeah.
for the
Um,
177 PR, I think we can close it now because now we are running all the tests using Vagrant, right? So now
Yeah, you
this
said,
PR
yeah,
is not more required.
this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. We are moving to I'm gonna close this. Thank you, everyone. I'm gonna close this for now. And this one is the one that's blocked by me working at the QEMU migration, QEMU, whatever it says. So I'm gonna do
Yes.
currently exploring this. Oh, there should be. Oh, that sounds easy. This is an easy contribution.
that sounds like a merge.
That's an easy contribution. Thank you, Triage Party. Tag Ozzy.
Oh, I think you forgot to delete the branch.
That's good spot. And I never do it, so.
Yeah, I never forget to delete the branch.
Tag Ozzy test amp. There is some work on, I think this one, we have to ask Manny to have a look at it. I remember that we had another issue that, like another purecast ongoing that says track Aussie version information. So maybe those two are related, or, you know. The initial proposal to automate testing infra, David is not here, unfortunately for us.
The roadmap one just before it, I was just waiting for feedback from you on as to whether or not we should just close that one. Wondering if we should use the roadmap project built into GitHub instead. And I linked to what that project is. So it already exists. Maybe we just use that.
Yeah, this is one of the rock, and I see that Dan is here. So if you have anything to say about that.
Yes, the plan is to move that over to the actual project page and make that more visible to the community.
So I'm gonna close this.
Perfect.
Marcus, use the project.
You made the day.
Close this. I like this meeting. Oh, this one is like not that whole. I mean, it's on hold, but there is a proposal for that. So I think we have to come with an. I try to ask Manny how many reviews and iteration he will need, but yeah, still there. I think it's a good work. I would really like to go with the breaking change version and just rip out the old, the current way we do certificates if the new one can work. But in the meantime, I think that's in a good position. Do you have updates on that? Any update on that?
I think that what Jason was doing here is similar to what I've got in the Tink Worker PR. I got a bunch of feedback from Jason and Manny this last week on the Tink Worker one, which maybe will influence this Tink server one going forward. A bunch of Viper features that I was just sort of going with what they show in examples, and I wasn't thinking too hard about it, and they're calling me out on it. So I've got to update my PR, and then hopefully the server PR can take a lesson from that.
Okay, yeah, I think it's good to evaluate all the options, because as soon as we pick the right one, I presume we will have to spread it over all the binaries and projects. So we have to keep the good one. Yeah. These add support for using Docker Compose.
So this one is going to have to wait, because we are not really sure how we want to introduce portal in the Tinkerbell stack.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to hold on to it.
I think we should probably figure out, Marcus, a way to notify the triage. This looks like a proposal to me. It's something that I think we should be discussing, a proposal, but a way to make issues and pull requests going away from the triage party, because it's as soon as we need to have a triaged strategy, I presume, in some way. So even if for the Kubernetes lens, for example, it means that pull request has to be owned by a SIG, and if there is a needs dash something, means that it's triaged and we are waiting for an interaction from an end user. So maybe we can do something like that as well.
Yeah, I think I have an open repo where that configuration lives, but if not, I'll open it up, and maybe we can put it on the Tinkerbell org somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's mainly also the missing part here is, how do we declare that an issue or pull request is triaged? That's probably a good title for the proposal or whatever. So that would be good. And I presume this triage party is another small stuff that can use the test infra proposal that is on hold, that I would really love to see it unblocked somewhere, because it's one of the infrastructure requirements that we can move in the test infra repository as soon as we have one. But yeah, that's it. So everybody has anything to add?
I dropped a PR in chat section for Manny to be. It's open for last 21 days.
Okay. So I think we can.
And you approved that PR 3 times. Okay. Cool.
I think we're good. We can call it down for today. 3, 2. Thank you for coming, everybody. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.